All right, so this is the first time we've done this in a while. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that about a week ago, I received an auction that I had won on eBay for a lot of 8 issues of a Japanese PC Engine magazine. And I got all 8 issues for a total of $40 shipped, and I was the only person that bid on the auction, which I thought was a little bit weird. And I thought it would be fun to do a flick through of a couple of them. So I picked out 2 of the magazines. The 8 issues that I got are 8 consecutive months. So unfortunately, we can't look at 2 magazines that are too far apart from each other. So I picked the April 92 issue and then the August 92 issue, just because I thought they had some especially interesting video game coverage. But before we get started, just a couple things I wanted to say real fast. This video is on this channel for a reason. This is not like a normal read through where I've done, research and recorded a bunch of gameplay footage. This is really just a very casual flick through of a couple of magazines that are written in a language that I can't read. So it will still be fun to just kind of check it out. But there's also going to be a lot of games in here that get covered that I don't know anything about. For example, PC Engine and even really TurboGrafx 16 role-playing games are like a real gap in my video game knowledge. So when we see those, I'm just not going to have a whole lot to say about them. But, if you watching this are somebody that knows something about some of the games that I don't know about, then, hey, that's what the comment section is for. So I think that's pretty much all I really had to say. So this magazine is called Gekkan PC Engine. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Gekkan. In our alphabet, we spell that Gekkan. And all that means is PC Engine Monthly. And these are actually pretty thick magazines. And it's just so exciting to see a magazine like this completely dedicated to the PC Engine, because of course here in the US, we had Turbo Play and Turbo Force and Dual World, and those were cool magazines. But unfortunately, here in the United States, the TurboGrafx 16 and Turbo Duo just didn't enjoy the success they had in Japan, and so those magazines in general are pretty thin, because there just wasn't too much to talk about. But in Japan, the PC Engine was a huge hit. And in fact was, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know, but of course, the PC Engine was more popular than the Sega Mega Drive. So anyway, on the cover here, I don't really know what's going on. This guy looks kind of like Bomberman. This is kind of like this monkey character who's on the cover of all the magazines. So I guess it was sort of like their little character. And then turning to the inside here, we have an ad for Far East of Eden 2, so already a role-playing game. The only thing I can say about it, unless I'm confusing it with Far East of Eden 1, is that this game sort of got teased in, I think it was Dual World, as something that was going to get localized for North American gamers, but unfortunately it never did. And then for whatever reason, they're sort of showing the Turbo Duo, the Japanese Turbo Duo, down here. It is a CD-ROM game, so you had to have a CD player, but a Super CD-ROM game, rather. So you would either need a Duo, or you could have just the regular PC Engine, briefcase interface unit with the CD drive if you had a Super System Card 3.0. Or, and I think maybe we'll see a picture in one of these magazines, there was a Super CD-ROM drive that you would just click onto the back of your PC Engine that basically already contained the Super System card as the Duo does. So obviously all this is in Japanese. So there's not really a whole lot to look at here, because I don't know what this is trying to tell you. I don't know if this is like the top games that are coming out. I did look at some of this stuff with a Google Translate app, but I just don't remember what it said. Table of contents, which we can always skip, and then it goes straight into this new game special, and this is new game special part 1. because they would always put, at least in all the issues I have, they would put another new game special section in the back. And so really this is just previews of upcoming games. And, this is kind of a heavy hitter game. This is Star Peroger, which I've talked about on the show a couple of times. Peroger is a portmanteau of parody and soldier, because Star Peroger is like a parody game of the Soldier series. And here they're showing you the 3 characters that you can be. You can play as Bomberman, and so you got Bomberman kind of flying through the air there, or flying through space, I suppose. And then Pero Caesar. So this is obviously the ship from the Soldier series. I guess I never knew, or looks more like the ship from Superstar Soldier if I had to pin it on one game. I guess I never really knew, as much of a fan as I am of those games, I never knew the ship had a name, or I guess really cared. And then sort of a defining feature, if you will, of this game for a lot of people is that you can play as a PC Engine. And then it's showing you down here the different special weapons that you'll have, depending on which character you are. And if you're the PC Engine, you can like shoot CDs. So I don't know, I guess that's kind of cool. And then if you're the PC Engine, if I remember correctly, the power-up icons that float around the screen are little hue cards. So I guess that's cool. And it continues over here. They're showing you the first 4 bosses, which to me seems like kind of a spoiler alert kind of thing. Like this appears to be them showing you, here's a few screenshots of the first 4 levels, or as it calls them, scenes. And then here are the first 4 bosses, which, and there's a snowman who I hate that guy. But that's the kind of thing that personally I would rather have seen for myself instead of seeing it in a magazine. But what are you going to do? Star Peroger's a good game, but the obvious comparison to be made is with Parodius Da, which is Konami's parody game of their shooter series, Gradius, Life Force, Twinbee, and whatever else. And I just think that if you were going to get one parody game, Parodius Da is the better game. But that being said, Star Peroger is a very good game. I don't have it only because, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But also it's a CD game, and for some reason I just get less excited about buying CD games versus hue card. I don't know why. That doesn't really make sense. Next here is Macross 2036. This is, to be honest, not a game that I have played, but Bithead 1000 has high praise for it. I'm also not into anime, so like I'm aware that Macross 2036 is like an anime series or an anime movie. Goes to show you what I know about Macross 2036. I'm just not into anime, so I don't really know anything about it. This is a horizontally scrolling shooter, and like I said, from what people have said, it's a good game based on the anime, obviously, but I've just never really played it, maybe for more than about 5 minutes, so I just, I don't have a formed opinion. Here's Dungeon Master. So I don't know if there was more than one Dungeon Master game. Here in North America, we got Dungeon Master Theron's Quest, which may or may not be what this is. I actually have Dungeon Master Theron's Quest, but I've never gotten around to playing it. You can see from the screenshots that it's a dungeon crawler. The only dungeon crawler on the TurboGrafx that I've spent any appreciable time with is Double Dungeons, which I think is a pretty decent game, as I'm sure this probably is, but I haven't personally played it. This, I have no idea what this is. It looks like a text-heavy game, maybe a role-playing game or something. I'm just not sure. This game looks very familiar. I don't know if somebody out there can tell me what it is, or I guess tell all of us what it is, then please do so. Gokuraku Chuka Taisen. I'm not sure. It looks interesting. It looks like a horizontally scrolling shooter with some sort of little monkey boy or something riding a cloud. But yeah, I just don't know anything about it. And next, Bonanza Brothers. I think Bonanza Brothers came out here in the U.S. on the Genesis, but I don't believe we got a TurboGrafx release. Yet another game that I've never played. Here's Spriggan or Spriggan. I don't know how one pronounces that. It's a well-regarded shooter on the PC Engine. Next, Bobble. This looks like another role-playing game of some kind. I don't know anything about Bobble or Babble. This, I don't even know what they're trying to show us here. Is this some sort of, looks like some sort of fishing game, if I'm not mistaken. That might be kind of cool. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to play it because I don't speak Japanese, but looks kind of neat anyway. Here we go. The Kickboxing is what this game was called on the PC Engine. We got this here in North America as Andre Ponza's Kickboxing. And, this is a funny game because this is the kind of game where I bet a lot of kids got suckered into buying it because the screenshots make it look like a pretty cool game. Like, this game's got really cool graphics. I especially like, you've got sort of some training stuff you can do up here, and like that looks okay. But when you're actually in the ring, whether it's training against somebody here or actually fighting somebody, what I assume is probably just a background layer, just has a lot of detail in it. Like, here you've got what, you could imagine is maybe your coach sitting in a chair. He's got his fingers intertwined behind his head. And like, if you actually load up the game and look at it, it's just got a lot of detail. Like, there's just like a lot of little stuff going on in the foreground. And then down here where you're actually fighting somebody, you have like, the first couple of rows of the crowd in the foreground, and the same thing, there's just like a lot of detail in there, and it looks really cool, but unfortunately, at least in my opinion, the game doesn't play very well. To be very honest, I haven't spent a lot of time with the game, but the time that I have spent with it doesn't make me want to spend more time with it, if that makes sense. This looks like some kind of strategy game. I don't know anything about that. Over here, so Davis Cup Tennis. I want to say this game came out here in the U.S., but maybe only on CD. No, that's not right. I could swear this has both a Hue card and a CD release. But so personally, I'm more of a final match tennis kind of guy. But, I mentioned in a previous episode that now defunct website, the Brothers Duomazov, and that guy that wrote most of the reviews, he had high praise for Davis Cup Tennis. I've just never really gotten into it. And then over here on the other side, this is Super Raiden or Super Raiden. Back in the early 90s, Raiden got ported to pretty much every video game console you can think of. I guess not everyone, but it was on the Genesis, it was on the Atari Jaguar, and it got a PC Engine CD release. And here they're just showing you the 2 additional stages at the end of the game, so that's kind of cool. For me, I've always just kind of like, Raiden is like okay, like it's not great. I think Raiden 2 is the more entertaining of the 2 games. But, it's all right. I think Super Raiden is a little bit of a pricey game now on Super CD, so not the kind of game that I would pick up. Over here, so this was kind of interesting. I didn't know this was a thing. So this is Minesweeper for PC Engine CD, and I looked it up. I was like, oh, there's no way that game came out. But sure enough, it did come out. So, I've always, as probably most of you I've always just thought of Minesweeper as like, one of the free games that came with Windows back in the day. But it actually did get a release on the PC Engine. I wonder if it's compatible with the PC Engine mouse, because that would kind of make sense. And then over here, I can't remember if I've talked about this game before on the show or not. This is this game called Toilet Kids, and it's really, really bad. It seems like it was developed with the idea of just like shock value and, super lowbrow humor. You can see these screenshots here are showing sort of the opening cutscene of the game. So, this poor kid, he gets up in the middle of the night to, do whatever he's doing. I mean, he's sitting, so you can imagine what he's doing. And then he ends up getting sucked into the toilet. And then it's this vertically scrolling shooter, but like some of the enemies are like, pieces of poop and stuff like that. And it's just like, and then I don't know what this is showing. So this is showing different levels, I guess, but all of these little pictures here are, well, I don't know what that one is at the end, but are like air fresheners for a toilet. And like, I don't know. I mean, something like that could be funny. I mean, it's sort of like Beavis and Butthead style humor, which, I was a fan of growing up, but in this game, it's like, it's not a very good game. And then on top of that, it seems like it's just going for sort of shock value or just being offensive for the sake of being offensive. Over here, I have no idea what that is. This is Samurai Ghost, which this game did come out here in the U.S. And I should say it's called Samurai Ghost here in the U.S. I don't know what its Japanese name was. And they show some screenshots here. This is a game that I've played, and I'll just say I guess that the game never really clicked with me. I feel like I have read reviews of it that are, giving it some praise. But for me, I just couldn't really get into it. But certainly the main character, I mean, he's literally a samurai ghost. So that's pretty cool. And, it's a decent sized feature. And then for whatever reason, we have like this fold out page here that goes on even more about it. And then it still goes on back here. So like, I mean, I don't know, is this just a preview? It looks maybe more like it's a strategy guide, but obviously I can't read any of it. So, and then it keeps going there. Here's an ad for the shooter Psychic Storm from Lasersoft. So I assume that means it's a Telenet game, but I wouldn't swear to that on Super CD. Here's an ad for Bobble or Babble. Like I said, I've just never heard of it. I don't know anything about it. Lasersoft again, though. Don't really know what's going on here. Although this appears to be a Valise game, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it. If so, I've never really gotten into the Valise games. I know that some people like them. Just again, I would say they're just not games that ever really clicked with me. We got this one here, Lords of the Rising Sun. I think it's called Lords of the Rising Sun. I think I actually might even have this game. It's another strategy game. So, and then down here, check it out. There's a little miniature ad for Loom. That's pretty cool. And this Sorcerian game, that one I don't think came out here. Oh, and check this out. Here's an ad for Shadow of the Beast. So this is another game, like I could never get into Shadow of the Beast. It came out on the Amiga. I think that was the original system that it came out on. It's a Psygnosis game. But the thing I'll say about Shadow of the Beast is it has absolutely amazing music. Check out Shadow of the Beast if you're curious. Like I said, I just don't think it's a very good game, but it's worth it just for the soundtrack alone. Like if you don't want to play the game, like download the soundtrack and check it out. Oh, cool. Here's a 2-page ad for Daytona Twinbee. I have this game. This is a vertically scrolling Konami shooter, sort of a cartoony shooter or, cute 'em up. If you like. I don't like, but you can say that. But what a cool ad. I don't know what's going on. This is that game that we already saw with the little monkey kid on the cloud. But that's an interesting ad. I don't know what it says. Hopefully it says something about the fact that this guy's got his thumbs in your soup and how disgusting that is. Far East of Eden again. And I don't know what's going on over here, but that thing looks pretty cool. Keep going. I have no idea what is going on. I don't think this is game related over on this side. And then I don't know why this is very common with Japanese game magazines, but now there's going to be like a whole section of black and white pages. And I mean, it seems clear that it's probably a cost cutting measure, but it's just not that big of a section. So I feel like why bother? But one of the things that was always in this black and white section in all of the issues that I have here is what seems like some sort of like little mini novel. I think it's like a serial thing where like each month there's a little bit more because you can see, it's some kind of story. And I think at the end it's like, okay, you got to buy next month's issue to see what happens next. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. That's a lot better, I think, at least than the comic strip things that we got here in like Game Pro and Nintendo Power. But once we get past that, we get past back to a little bit of video game coverage. And for some reason, they got this section always called PC Engine Plus. And it's hyper game information for game freaks. Because I didn't point that out, but on the cover, this is the monthly magazine for game freaks. So this appears to be at some kind of video game show, and I can see, you probably can't read that, but they're at a booth for Alien 3. So so I don't know what's going on there. That might be kind of neat. And they always had this section. It was like a CD-ROM section, but not necessarily like PC Engine CD-ROM, just like CD-ROM stuff in general. So like here is the FM Towns home computer system. Here's the CDI in case Wrestling with Gaming is watching. The Turbo Duo, that's kind of interesting. You can see the PlayStation peripheral that, of course, never really came out for the Super Nintendo, and then, of course, the Mega CD down there. And this is at some kind of video game expo. From the looks of it, there's a Sony booth. Here's more information about the Super Famicom CD player. So, I wish I could read that. There, that's the kind of thing where there might be some interesting information in there for, a guy like me making videos. I don't know what engine room over here. It's obviously some kind of Q&A, but I don't know with who. And then this is another section that was in the magazine every month. And it, is ostensibly about sort of virtual reality type of stuff in video games. And, this month it's, virtual golf. I don't know how much I would really consider this virtual reality, but you can see there's this big projection screen here, and, you can kind of hit a ball and, and then the screen, moves, I guess. So, I mean, that would be kind of fun to play, but whether or not that's really virtual reality, I'm not sure. And then that looks to me like Fine Shot Golf, which was part of the Human Sports Festival series, the Human Sports Festival CD-ROM, rather, which I don't know what that really has to do with whatever else is going on the screen. I wish I could read what that says, but that's a really good game. We're going to talk about that in an upcoming episode of the show, but Fine Shot Golf on Human Sports Festival is one of the best golf games on the PC Engine. And I don't know what's going on over here, but that looks pretty cool. And this is, I don't know what this is over here. There is Parodius Da. I don't know what else is going on the page. I think that looks like Star Parodia right there. That's Shadow of the Beast, and I'm not sure what those two are. Cool. Well, hey, there you go. This must be, I think, this is the games being covered in this section. I just, I can't read what that says, but, obviously, here's Parodius Da. So that's pretty neat. But this is showing you stage 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So maybe in the March issue, it was showing you stages 1, 2, and 3. I'm not really sure. And, I don't know if this is some kind of strategy guide once again, or just sort of like a showcase of the game. Oh, okay. That's what this is this game called, I'm probably not going to say this right, but like Spriggan 3. That was a series of games on the PC Engine, and I have this game actually, Spriggan 3. Sometimes I see it spelled like Shoebibben Man, but more commonly it's just Spriggan Man. I have no idea what that means, but I haven't spent much time with this game yet, but I got it because it's like really well regarded. As being like a really good game. Like this series apparently got better and better as it went along, and this is sort of where it hit its peak. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, we still are in a section where the paper is of lower quality, but now all of a sudden it's in color. So again, I just don't know what the point is of doing that, but whatever. And this is the game. I'm not sure what this is. Whatever's going on here looks extremely familiar. So that makes me feel stupid because I feel like I should know what this is, but I just don't. It's not ringing a bell. And then over here is some more Shadow of the Beast. And I guess this must be some kind of like tips section because this is clearly showing you, maps to the first couple of stages here. I don't know if it goes on. No, it does not. And then here's some stuff once again for Daytona Twinbee. What's going on in here? This looks like fan art. Maybe. Well, maybe not. I don't know what it is. There's a whole fan art section later that we'll check out. This guy looks familiar, but I don't know what this section is supposed to be. Just keep going. PC Media Press. Now, this looks like sort of various little things you can buy. There's a Zero Champ sweatshirt. I don't know what that is. Those look like either speakers or air fresheners for your bathroom. And considering we just saw Toilet Kids, it could easily be either one. And this, I guess, I don't know if this is like a subscription card or just like a reader survey card, because those were popular here in the U.S. And then I don't know what this is. This page is in every issue that I got, and it's always the first page after the sort of junky paper pages, because now we're back on glossy paper. The stuff on the screen, or the stuff on the page is always different. I don't know if this is stuff you can order, or, you know what this reminds me of is when I was a kid, there would be those ads in like the comic books where like you would go door to door selling like packets of seeds or something. And, you know, you could earn enough points or whatever for like a BMX bicycle or a video game or whatever. And that's what this kind of looks like, but I don't think that's actually what it is. So this is in a few of the issues. So I think this is like an advertising section, because you see it's Naxat Information Magazine, and it only talks about Naxat games. Like this. Oh, I have this game. This is like what is it, like the Niketsu series or whatever? Like, you know, we had Super Dodgeball and River City Ransom, and like those were all part of the same like franchise in Japan. And they had this soccer game that I don't remember what it's called, because it has like a really long name, but if you like Super Dodgeball, this is like the soccer version of Super Dodgeball. So you can still you can peg the opposing players with the ball and like knock them out and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And then over here once again is Spriggan or Spriggan Mark II. And don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on over here. Some sort of quiz. I don't know if is that a quiz game, because it's telling you it's 6,800 yen. This seems like it's some kind of game you could buy, but I don't know anything about it. So here's an ad. So we've got it's the Kickboxing and Davis Cup Tennis. The Kickboxing violently, and Davis Cup Tennis splendid, because what's more splendid than tennis? Not sure what's going on over here, but here's an ad for good old, here, now it says in English, Toilet Kids. Toilet Kids is worth checking out, I guess, as like a curiosity, but I definitely don't recommend that anybody actually pays for this game. Except maybe as a conversation piece. Hey, here's Human Sports Festival. I was just talking about that. So I'm going to talk about this game again on probably the next episode of the show. But so this was a CD, a super CD that you could get that had 3 games on it. You got Fine Shot Golf, an iteration of Formation Soccer, which was like a series of games on the PC Engine, and Final Match Tennis Ladies. So it's Final Match Tennis, but just with girls. And really solid game to get, because you get the 3 games in one. I can't imagine the game being expensive, because it's just a sports game, but that's worth picking up. And then down here, for whatever reason, is a PC Engine LT, so that's pretty cool. Super Schwarzschild. I don't know anything about that game. Over here. So I think this probably is the game that we saw screenshots of at the beginning. I feel like I should know the name of this game, because I think I've seen... I even want to say that maybe one of these games came out in the U.S. I'll let somebody out there tell me if that's true or not. But, I mean, it looks like some sort of fishing role-playing game. And this is some sort of hex-based strategy game. Here's an ad for Spriggan Man 3. Which was, so Messiah, you see this a lot. There were a lot of Messiah, Masaya, games that came out on the PC Engine and the Super Famicom, and that was like a subsidiary of NCS. Special Rescue Team. So I think this was like more, this was another regular like feature in these magazines, this SRT section. And I think it's just more tips, but hey, here's tips for Gate of Thunder. So that's pretty awesome. One of the best shooters on the system. What else we got here? I don't know what's going on there. What's IQ Panic? Looks like some kind of quiz game. And okay, here's yet another regular feature in the magazine. This was sort of like a deep dive strategy section, and so it only covers one game. And normally, it would take 2 issues to completely cover one of the games. So, like, there'd be a part 1 in one issue, and then a part 2 in the other issue. And this appears to be the PC Engine version of Ninja Gaiden. And then here's an ad for... so I don't know how people say this. Bithead says Raxamber, but we know that's wrong. I don't know if it's Rayzamber. This is Rayzamber 3. And then over here, so this is another thing. This is in every single issue. We have this Princess Cafe, and it's just got like some chick that obviously I can't read the text, but there's always one picture of her playing PC Engine, and then just a bunch of pictures of her like posing and whatnot. I guess you can imagine this was a magazine that was read by boys and young men, and so I'm sure they would get excited to see something like that. Here is a little section of arcade games, or it's arcade game and world game. So I don't know if that means like games from other parts of the world. What is this game called? Is this Magic Sword? Oh man, I'm going to get that wrong. Maybe it's Magic Sword. I forgot. Yeah, you've got Lancelot and Parzival and Arthur. Yeah, I want to say that's Capcom's Magic Sword, but watch, as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to go look it up and realize that I was wrong. Here's so I think just world game just means games for other platforms, because here's Populous 2 for the Amiga and Atari ST, and then so this is it's just kind of funny. Like, here's the original Civilization. Which it's funny because to me, like, PC Engine games in the early 90s don't seem like they would be as old. Like, I would think the first Civilization game would have been from like the late 80s or something, but nope, because there it is. Great game. Now we get into some fan art, I think, that was sent in. So that's kind of cool. And then over here, so I don't know exactly what they're saying over here with this special. I don't know if this is... more previews. This looks more like it's little tips for different games. Here's Parodius Da, and looks like it's showing you some sort of cheat code here. What else? That's still Parodius Da. Dragon Saber. So we got that here in the US as Dragon Spirit. Not a great game, but certainly a decent game. Oh, hey, check it out. Magical Chase. I'm not a huge fan of Magical Chase, but, that's certainly turned into a household name amongst even the most casual of Turbo fans. So it's just kind of cool to see it get a little bit of coverage in a magazine. Just looking for things that look familiar. There's a little bit more Ninja Gaiden from the looks of it. I don't know what's going on here. Obviously that's Bonk, but I'm not sure what this is, an ad or article for. Okay, so here is part 2 of New Game Special. See what they're showing here. Nothing really sticking out to me back here as much. Oh, there's Hawk F123. It sort of plays like a UN Squadron ripoff. It's a pretty cheap game that you can pick up, and I don't know, it's okay. I was never a huge fan of UN Squadron, so something that's like a cheap knockoff of UN Squadron is like really something that I don't want to play. And I don't know what's going on here. Some kind of comic And then, so interestingly, the reviews section of this magazine, A, is all the way in the back, and B is always very small, which just seems kind of weird. Like, you would just think that you'd think there'd be more reviews. Like, if you read EGM or GamePro, the reviews are so prominently featured. And these magazines are always in the back. And to be honest, if you look at the score, I read through all the magazines that I got, and it just seems like all of the games get between like a 70 and a 90. So it almost seems like the review scores are really not that handy. The main game here that sticks out to me, ironically, is there's Human Sports Festival, because that's a screenshot of Fine Shot Golf. I'm not sure what any of these other... There's the Monkey on the Cloud thing again. And there's that IQ game that we saw an ad for. But you see, like, all the review scores are, sort of the same, plus or minus 10. And here's some more. There's Toilet Kids. So, somebody gave Toilet Kids a 65. Does it say who the... So I thought this was interesting. So here's all the reviewers. So, it's just like EGM. And then so you have at the end Jack. And so I wonder if you had like an American or a Westerner working for the magazine. That would have been kind of neat just to get, somebody else's perspective. Here we kind of had that, fakely. Sushi X was supposed to be this Japanese gamer, which of course we know now that it was not. So maybe this is like the opposite. But there's Toilet Kids, which doesn't review super well, though someone did give it an 80. There's Minesweeper, which got straight 75s. And, here you go, Hawk F123. Somebody gave that a 60. So if you look at sort of the spread, it's kind of like reading GamePro, right? Like, GamePro never gave an actually bad review to anything. So if you see something like a 60, you might think like, oof, that must be a bad game. There's Shadow of the Beast. Gets, I guess, kind of decent scores. Oh, wow, this is more reviews than you normally see. Although I'm not sure what any of those games are. Is that Forgotten Worlds? Maybe not. Kind of looks like it, though. Almost done with this one. Last couple pages. Oh, well, maybe it is, because, hey, there's an ad. That's pretty neat. So here's an ad for Forgotten Worlds, and you can see that along with it is the ad for the Avenue Pad 3, which is a 3-button controller for the PC Engine, because you need 3 buttons to play Forgotten Worlds, because the 2 outer buttons, which on the Genesis would be A and C, but on this PC Engine pad are 1 and 3, are used to rotate your character. Because he can rotate 360 degrees, and then the 2 button is to shoot. My understanding is that if you bought Forgotten Worlds for the PC Engine, that it came bundled with the Avenue Pad 3. But I don't know that for a fact. And then on the back, look at that. We have an ad for Gate of Thunder coming out on February 21st. That's a pretty cool ad. So that is the April 92 issue. So now let's check out the August 92 issue. Get that centered there. So here's the same little monkey creature. I don't know what game, if any, this is making specific reference to. He's got a bull charging up behind him, and he's wearing a little Japan tank top. So... I wonder if maybe this is for power sports. Although, there's no, bullfighting or whatever in power sports. But he's obviously on a track. And like I said, he's wearing a Team Japan tank top. And this would be about the right time because, of course, in 92, there was a Summer Olympics. So that would be about the right time for power sports to come out. Okay, cool. Here we go. So this is a little ad showing you all the different hardware that was out, PC Engine hardware. So here you have the PC Engine CD, which we got here as the Turbo Express, and they're showing it with the optional TV tuner attachment. And then here is the Core Graphics 2, which I should know this, but I don't know the difference between the Core Graphics 2 and the original Core Graphics. So this is sort of like the third iteration of the PC. You had the white PC Engine, and then the core graphics, which was the same gray, but said core graphics in blue. And then you have the core graphics too, and I just don't remember what the difference is. Here you see the PC Engine Duo. So I'm not sure when the Duo R came out, because of course that was a complete redesign. But they're still on the original Duo. And then I mentioned the Super CD-ROM. So this is a CD attachment that you would slide the core graphics into, but here you don't need the Super System card because it's built in the same way it is on the Turbo Duo. And then lastly, again, here's the PC Engine LT. And it's kind of interesting to see so much advertising for the PC Engine LT because it's a pretty rare piece of hardware now. I think you're going to pay upwards of $1,000 now for a PC Engine LT. And in case it's not clear to you here, it's basically a PC Engine with a built-in screen. It has built-in controls here, like a D-pad and buttons, but you could also plug a controller into it. So it's sort of semi-portable, but you could still plug it into your TV and use it as a normal PC Engine. And then I don't know this for a fact, but certainly it stands to reason that since it has a built-in antenna, it must also have a built-in TV tuner. And down here, we've got a few games. The only one I recognize is over here is Soldier Blade. Here's this top 10 section. Again, there's a Bomberman game, but other than that, oh, there's Star Peroger. Table of contents. Oh, here, this is pretty cool. So this is a little report from the 1992 Tokyo Toy Show. And like here, you can see that NEC had a huge presence, as you would expect. You got some booth girls here. And then here they're showing you some other booths. Here's the Capcom booth. Somebody dressed as Chun-Li because they're doing Street Fighter 2. Here's a Konami booth, Sega booth, and then you can see some Sonic the Hedgehog logos there. So I don't know what game that would be in 92. I guess it would be Sonic 2. And then here, this is also pretty neat because this is from the 92 Summer CES in Chicago, so here in the U.S. And here they're showing the Nintendo booth. There is the Super Scope, as well as the Super Nintendo mouse. Mario Kart. Is that a Menacer? I should know that. Whatever it is, I don't have it. I believe that's the Sega Menacer. And what else we got over here? There is Streets of Rage 2. I don't know what any of those three are. And I don't know what this weird Philips controller is. Maybe that's for a CDI or something. I don't even know. Oh, there's a guy, you can probably barely see that, but you got a guy dressed up as Air Zonk and a guy dressed up as Bonk. Probably wouldn't want to have that job. Okay, and then we get into New Game Special. I don't know what Yawara is. Apparently it was popular. Oh, here's Loom. So I personally have not yet played Loom. I have it, but I just got it recently. It's a adventure game. I believe LucasArts made Loom. Somehow it's like very heavy into like music. I think it has like Tchaikovsky music in it, if I remember correctly. And I guess the whole idea of this game is that you're part of this clan of weavers, and that's why it's like Loom. But like I said, I haven't played. This was a PC game, I should mention. This was a game that came out on PC, and then this is like a conversion of the game for the PC Engine CD. And then we also got the game here in North America as a Turbo CD game. This logo looks familiar up here, but I don't know off the top of my head what game that is. F1 Project. This looks like some sort of like F1 like manager type game. So, as much of a fan as I am of F1, this is probably not the kind of game that I would have that much fun with, just because I would rather drive. Some kind of role-playing game. Dragon Knight 2, this must have been a big deal game. Whoa, what's going on over there? This must have been some kind of big deal game because this game got coverage in quite a number of the issues that I got. A lot of stuff here in the preview section that I just don't know anything about. I didn't know Stratego ever had a video game associated with it. But over here's Terra Cresta 2. So the original Terra Cresta was a Famicom game. And I think it was probably also on other systems. But the only way I've ever played the original Terra Cresta was on the Famicom. And then Terra Cresta 2, which again may have also come out for Japanese home computers for all I know. I don't know. But this was a PC Engine Hue card game. And this is a very pricey game. I think this game goes for about $450 now, which I don't really understand. I've only played the game a little bit, but from what I played, it didn't seem like the kind of game that I'd be willing to blow $450 on. Of course, I can't think of too many games, period, that I would blow $450 on. So here's some more coverage of the Kickboxing, which we already talked about. Don't know what this is over here. Record of Lodos War. Isn't that another anime or manga? I don't know which. Again, I just don't know anything about either one. This looks kind of cool. I've never seen this. This looks like some sort of sumo wrestling game. That might be interesting. What else we got? Oh, more of this Record of Lodos, right? Isn't that what this is? Or is this a different game now? No, I don't think so. Same game. A lot of coverage there. Okay, CD-ROM Plus again. So that's interesting. Like here's a little bit of coverage of a Macintosh computer. Or maybe a lot of coverage. I don't know what the rest of this is. Sorcerian, and then once again we have this little section that folds out for whatever. It just seems so random. There's always this one fold-out page in every issue, and then here is an ad for I think this game's called the Pro Yaku Super, and I don't really understand. This would make you think that if you play the game, it's like all animals playing baseball, but it's not. But I mean, this guy looks cool. It's a big gorilla chewing bubblegum. I'm just going to keep going until I find something to... Oh, hey, Slime World. So we got this here, not on the TurboGrafx, but Todd's Adventures in Slime World came out on both the Sega Genesis and the Atari Lynx. So here's Naxat information. Once again. So I mentioned this when I did that PC Engine paraphernalia video because I got Naxat open. But so Naxat was the company that put on these summer carnivals, which were shooting competitions. And so here they had two games. So that's Rekka, which I think pretty much everybody's heard of, Summer Carnival 92 Rekka. So that's a caravan shooter for the Famicom. And then I think that is Alzadik, if I remember correctly. And then I'm assuming that this is showing results from the competition, same that they're showing here. I don't know that for a fact, though. Burai 2. Uh-oh, now we're getting into the... there's a Laserdisc player, but it's not the laser active. So now we're getting into this weird, story time in the newsprint pages. So we're going to get past that. I mean, maybe it's very interesting. What do I know? Oh, here's that picture again. So we got the guy dressed as Air Zonk and the guy dressed as Bonk. So I think this is, it says right there, CES in Chicago. Although I don't know what that is. Maybe that's the Tokyo Toy Show again. But maybe there'll be some cool games in here or cool pictures, or maybe not. Sonic 2. Who's that guy? All right, here we get into the virtual reality section again. I'm not really sure what is going on this month. At first, I thought this guy was maybe like skiing or like ski jumping, and maybe he is. I can't really tell. Is that Street Fighter? Is that an ad for Street Fighter 2 for the Super Famicom. I mean, that was out already, but maybe that's like Street Fighter 2 Turbo or something. I just can't read it. It's too bad. There's Hook for the Super Famicom. Hook also came out on the Sega CD. And then I don't know what's Summer Special. So this is like the same thing as last time. So this is just showing you the games that they're going to cover in this section. So we can see this is that F1 Manager game, whatever it was called, F1 Project. There's New Adventure Island, which had a completely different name in Japan, but I don't know it. Some kind of dungeon crawler, maybe that's Dungeon Master. There's Tatsujin, which we know better here in North America as Truxton. Oh, no, this is F1 Circus Special. That's funny. I should know that. I actually have this game. I don't really care for these F1 Circus games. There was at least a couple of them. They play like Moto Rotor, so you only have this little tiny view of the area immediately around you. It's like a top-down game, and the screen scrolls really fast, so you kind of have to memorize all the tracks. But it's one of those games where I wish it was better than it actually is. And here is, like I said, New Adventure Island is what I'll call it, because I don't know or remember what it's called in Japan. Really good game, in my opinion. One of the better platformers, especially here in North America, where we got far fewer HuCard games than they had in Japan. If you like playing platformers, I would definitely recommend checking out New Adventure Island. Unfortunately, it's kind of a pricey game to purchase, but obviously there are other ways to play games these days. Tower of Druaga. That game, that sounds familiar, but I don't know anything about it. There's so it is Theron's Quest, Dungeon Master. Theron's Quest. Again, like I said, we got this game here, and I have a copy, but I've just never played it. It looks good, though. I mean, I like dungeon crawlers. I don't know what these are. This looks kind of neat, though. Genocide. That's not a very nice name for a game, but I mean, it looks cool in the screenshots, at least. There's Tatsujin. Seems like it's just giving you some basic tips for scoring in the game. And there's the obligatory picture of the skull special weapon. I'm just skipping through this because I don't really know what any of this is anyway, although, that's kind of cool. So this is, I can't read any of this, but, this picture makes it pretty clear that this is Lords of Thunder, or Winds of Thunder, as it's called in Japan. That's a weird name. Lords of Thunder sounds so much better than Winds of Thunder. I don't really know what's going on in any of these pictures, but it looks cool. And again, so we get to the end of the, crappy paper pages, and then here is, whatever's going on here again. So I don't know. For all I know, maybe this is just little ads like, hey, here's some new gadgets that just came out on the market or something. I mean, there's a section kind of like that at the beginning of every issue of Retro Gamer, and maybe it's the same thing. I just don't know. That's kind of cool. There's a Williams FW14. That was the car that Nigel Mansell won the championship in. There's the Super System card 3.0. I don't know what these are. I mean, that you can see there's Daytona Twinbee there, but those are not PC Engine games, so I don't know what those are. And I don't know what these pages are showing you, but here there's Bonk, there's Air Zonk. That is the cover art for Soldier Blade, but I don't know what these are supposed to be lists of. I wish I did. Sorcerian again. Loom. Oh, there's Shapeshifter. That one came out here. I don't have it though. Startling Odyssey won Rayforce. Startling Odyssey is a role-playing game that never came out here, but there's a fan translation for it. So, you can get the ISO or whatever, because it's a CD game. You can get the ISO and patch it and then you can play it with all English text. That being said, I have not done so. And check that out. 2-page ad for one of my all-time favorite games, Soldier Blade. That's pretty awesome. Seems like it's just showing, well, that's the caravan mode section, but I think maybe, that's just showing the very beginning of the game, but those are not part of the caravan, but I think that is. But and that, of course, is just the cover art, but a much bigger version of it. So that looks pretty awesome. And then I don't know what's going on down here. These kids look like they're going to throw up. Oh, cool. Check it out. Snatcher. So, yeah, Snatcher came out for the PC Engine CD, but didn't come out here, unfortunately. It would be nice if there was another way. Although, you know, the Sega CD version of Snatcher is super expensive, and if it had come out here on the Turbo CD, I'm sure it would be just as expensive. Oh, pretty big section, though. So that's nice. So here again is this in-depth strategy guide. I think, is this Razamber 3, I think? Razamber, if I'm saying that right. 3. And then I think this is like part 1, because it's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. But then I think in the September issue, it's like more strategy for Razamber. Tower Druaga ad, and so here's this Princess Cafe again. So here's this girl, and we're going to turn the page. I'm telling you, there'll be the first picture probably is her playing the PC Engine. Yep, there it is. Although she is playing New Adventure Island, so I'll give her that. Apparently she plays the piano too, so isn't that nice? So I've seen this in a couple of these issues. I guess remote control cars were like very popular, I'm guessing, in Japan. And maybe more specifically, remote controlled Formula One cars, which, you know, geez, that would be awesome. But, you know, because this, of course, has nothing to do with video games. But that seems like what this section is it's like, okay, this is going to be a section about not PC Engine games and maybe not games, period. Because this is also where all the fan art shows up. So here they're talking about, like I said, remote controlled F1 cars. And then we get some coverage of an arcade game. And that looks like King of the Monsters for the Neo Geo, King of the Monsters 2, if I'm not mistaken. More fan art, and then I think this again is just sort of the tips section, if I'm not mistaken. Here's some Star Peroger action. More Star Peroger. There's that Neketsu soccer game I was talking about. Again, really cool game. I mean, at least watch some gameplay footage of it. It's really cool. More Star Peroger. Some chicken lingerie. Oh, here's Psychic Storm. Well, we talked about Psychic Storm a little bit in the other magazine that we looked at. All right, sorry, my camera shut off, so I had to restart everything. So again, here's Psychic Storm down here. Shooter we talked about in the other issue. I haven't played it, but it sure looks cool in these screenshots. I like that city background there. What else? Oh, more Psychic Storm and more Star Peroger. And then I don't know what this might be an ad for over here. It looks familiar. I can't remember the name of that. It's like a game where your character runs around and you have a camera. I can't remember what it's called. And I don't know what is going on over here either. Presented by Red, it says. So Red is the company that made the Bonk games, Air Zonk, and I think they even made Gate of Thunder. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not really... You know, sometimes the relationships between developers seems a little bit weird, you know, like, because we think of those games as being first-party games, but they weren't developed, like, by Hudson. But, you know, I don't know, maybe is Red like a subsidiary of Hudson, or I'm just not really sure. And I'm also not really sure what's going on here, but you have a bunch of people wearing some weird face paint, so I guess that's cool. Here's New Game Special Part 2. Here is Power League 5. That's a pretty awesome game. I think what it's saying down here, Power League 5 is the first installment in the series that was officially licensed or had an official license from Nippon Professional Baseball. So now all of a sudden you have the actual teams instead of sort of like the knockoff teams that they had before that. And then that's the cover art for Power League 5, which is a really cool piece of artwork. I don't know what the game is over here. It looks like some sort of role-playing or strategy game to me. Oh, I think that's Power Sports. So that's what I was saying about the cover, that maybe it was making a reference to Power Sports. This game came out here in the U.S. as a world sports competition. So it's just like an Olympics style game, which, again, is just sort of timely because, of course, there was a Summer Olympic Games in 1992. I think that's the Pro Yaku Super, which is the one that had the ad with the crazy gorilla chewing gum in it. Some kind of soccer game, not sure what. The shooter game that I feel like I should know the name of, but don't. Pop Commander? I don't know what that is. Here's some kind of crazy comic again. Coming to the end. Oh, but of course here we have our reviews again. And so here I think this appears to be F1 Circus Special, which, again, like I said, look at the review scores. Like, there's just not that much difference. But kind of exciting, here is the review for Soldier Blade. And I got to say, I'm kind of surprised by the reviews. Like, not a single 90 in there. So, I wish I could read what it says to see, like, maybe what they didn't like about Soldier Blade, because it's, commonly considered now to be the pinnacle of the Soldier series. And then over here is Alzadik, which was one of the two Summer Carnival 92 games, was the Caravan mode in Alzadik, which gets even worse scores. And then next to that, so it's kind of a heavy hitter shooter review issue, is Tatsujin. And then that's it for reviews. So like I said, it's just this magazine generally is pretty light on reviews. Why does that look so familiar? That almost looks like at the beginning. It can't be, right? The game wasn't out yet, was it? This looks like if you turned it this way, the beginning cinema or whatever you want to call it in Nexer, when the girl gets killed, and then it doesn't show the girl getting killed. It just suddenly shows like that. So I don't know if this is supposed to be an ad for Nexer. I don't think so. I don't think the game was out yet. I think that's Spibben Man 3 again, and then here's this F1 project. And then what will be the ad on the back of the magazine? Oh, it's Power League 5. So, I think that's cool, but I imagine that you guys probably don't. So that is a not very good flick through of, get these centered, of 2 issues of PC Engine Monthly from April and August of 1992. So I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, it's not quite the same as a normal magazine read-through, but I still think it was pretty fun. At the same time that I won these magazines, so this was 8 PC Engine Monthly magazines that I got for $40 shipped. I also got like 12 more issues of Mega Drive Fan. You might remember we did do a read through of Mega Drive Fan on the other channel, I think. And so I got 12 more issues of that magazine from the same seller for another $40 shipped. So those magazines were even cheaper. And with those magazines, there's a little bit more of a spread as far as they're not all from like consecutive months. Like there's some that are early, there's some that are really late. So it would be fun to do a flick through of 1 or 2 of those, but in the same style as this. Like I don't really want to try to do a proper read through of magazines that are not in English. We'll do that on this channel, and I can just go ahead and admit my stupidity or ignorance here, and we'll just stick to English language magazines on the main channel. So that's going to do it for this episode of CGQ Plus. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.